plastic production keeps growing globally at a rapid pace, and the majority of it becomes waste that ends up in landfills or in the environment. A new study has put together 40 years of data looking at the amount of plastic particles in our oceans. It's revealed a dramatic increase since 2005, with the amount of plastic waste ultimately reaching more than 170 trillion on average. The research argues that number could nearly triple by 2040 if no action is taken.
Orlando, Florida is one of the world's tourism capitals, with more than 70 million visitors each year and more than 130,000 hotel rooms. Now the industry is trying to reduce its footprint, cutting back on single-use soap and embracing recycling. Many hotel chains work with Clean the World in an effort to go greener. They collect the soap used and left by guests and send them to Clean the World to be recycled.
Our reliance on single-use plastics really took off during the rise in plastic production. I mean, it's a relatively recent phenomenon, but today half of all plastic that's produced is intended for single-use plastics. So we need to really stop using plastic for single-use purposes to move away from that. That will certainly help with the demand for plastic, and that's something that we can all do, is to eliminate single-use plastics from our lives.
Volunteers are hard at work triaging the used plastic bottles from hotels to bring the usable ones back into circulation.
This is our volunteer area where our volunteers are going to be sorting soap and boxing soap. They're also going to help us sort all the plastic out. As you can see over here, hotels are starting to make a transition to large format closed loop bottles. So these are large bottles coming out of Hilton properties. We are deliquefying it. We're recycling all of the liquid and recycling all of the plastic into a circular plastic scenario as well. So very important. Not only is it the large bottles, but as you can see, it's these small bottles as well that are still the single-use amenity bottles that are being used. So we're doing all of it, deliquefying and fully recycling all of this plastic. You can see we've actually got an inbound shipment right now, so all the soaps and bottles are coming in from hotels across the United States. It's important for hotels in the hospitality industry to implement programs that reduce waste, reduce water, reduce energy use, simply because they have a lot of it. And over the last year, travel and tourism has hit an all-time high. Post-pandemic, there was a lot of pent-up demand to get out. Well, that demand is now being seen. And so the amount of waste, environmental damage, water damage, et cetera, is also at an all-time high. But we are seeing really good trends in the hospitality industry where hotels are implementing new programs and initiatives, just like the Clean the World recycling program, that are designed to reduce waste and to help the environment and to help socially.
Each bottle counts. And at the end of the cycle, the results are quantifiable and material.
So this is our impact station. Each day, UPS delivers our packages from the hotel, from our hotel partners. We bring it over here to the impact station. This is the most important thing we do. This is why our partners engage with us. This is where we're able to tell them exactly how much landfill diversion, how much soap they were able to donate, how much plastic they donated, and then how many bars of soap we're able to turn this soap into. And then we ultimately are able to tell them where in the country or where in the world we sent that to and who it impacted and how. And so what we're doing here at our impact station, our guys will take each box that comes in, we're going to scan the label, and that's going to tell us exactly what property this came from. We're going to weigh it, and we're going to put that into our portal, and it's going to say exactly how many pounds of soap, how many pounds of bottles, etc.
Clean the World charges hotels 50 cents per room per month for the service of receiving the soap and recycling them. This helps the hotels reduce their carbon footprint.
So we'll start with a bottle like this and eventually turns into this. So when we get the product into this state, that's where we're able to manufacture new plastic products. So if plastic wasn't being sent to clean the world from our hotel partners, it would be ending up in a landfill, ending up in waterways, and just further polluting our environment and our local communities.
The impact of these initiatives is not only in terms of sustainability, but also saves lives under the most pressing circumstances.
But the real aha moment for Clean the World came when I did research and found that in 2009, when we launched, there were 9,000 children under the age of 5 dying every day to hygiene-related illnesses, pneumonia and diarrheal disease. #1 and #2 killers of children worldwide. And all these studies showed that if we just gave them soap and taught them how and when to wash their hands, we could cut those deaths in half.
Children of Haiti and the Philippines are the first to receive the recycled soap, but the idea is to reach as many developing countries as possible.
14 years later, we now have 8,000 hotels that operate our program. We recycle 1.4 million hotel rooms. We've diverted 23 million pounds of waste from landfill across the globe, and we've distributed 80 million bars of soap to children, families, mothers in 127 countries across the globe.
The shipment that our volunteers are currently working on is actually going in response to the volcano eruption in the Philippines. So we actually are wrapping up a shipment that's going to be 384,000 bars of soap that we will distribute to the Philippines.
We are seeing the impacts of climate change. We are seeing less water available. We are seeing the impacts on agriculture, on hygiene, on sanitation. Consumers want to see that companies' brand services are doing the right thing as it relates to environmental, social, and governance.
We don't want to get rid entirely of the plastic. We need to have products that we can use over and over again. We need to have products that we can reuse, that we know, and we can reuse it and reuse it, and we need to avoid these losses of plastics. But we should be a little bit more intelligent in using these plastics and not be so sloppy in using it, because this sloppiness generates a lot of problems for the environment and for ourselves.